The nation is once again trapped in a dizzying labyrinth of conflicting stories and vanishing promises. Looks like our girl Lady G isn't the only Republican struggling to keep things straight. America's icon of uninvited intimacy, Diddlehands Donald, strutted across the 2024 campaign trail insisting he would release the Epstein Files, the long-hidden roster of people linked to Epstein's child sex trafficking empire. He's grandstanding as the self-appointed executioner of elite corruption, all while another corrupt billionaire was already bankrolling his return. By November, welfare king Elon Musk had become the campaign's largest donor, effectively buying the Blobfather's path back to power. Now, cut to February of this year, and cue our next villain, the high-heeled henchwoman of hypocrisy, Tampa Two-Face Pam Bondi, Trump's attorney general. She went on Fox News and declared that the Epstein client list is sitting on her desk as they speak, reviewing it at Trump's personal directive, of course. The White House even handed out Epstein Files Phase 1 binders to far-right influencers so pro-Trump voices could spin the story first. Their plan for transparency was literally send in the clowns. But it backfired immediately because the binders provided almost nothing new. Then early June brought the divorce. The billionaire's boy club blew up when Elon trashed Trump's big beautiful bill. So Trump threatened Space Karen's companies by vowing to cut his federal contracts and subsidies. Mussolini didn't like that. He went nuclear with a tweet saying Trump's in the Epstein Files, and that's why they haven't been released. He grounded that friendship harder than one of his rockets on launch day, I'll tell you that. By July, the DOJ publicly undercut Pam's February theatrics, announcing it found no client list, but tons of material like flight logs, visitor logs, unredacted interviews, sworn testimonies, emails, scheduling records, financial trails, deposition transcripts, and evidence files too entangled with victim information to release. MAGA felt bamboozled, and they turned on her. So Pumpkin Tits had to quickly swoop in and defend her and insisted Epstein never mattered and MAGA should just move on. And as Pamnesia hid from reporters, Trump spiraled, blasting the Wall Street Journal over a resurfaced risque birthday note he swears he didn't write. But the real bombshell dropped late July when the Journal revealed what they'd all been dancing around. Trump was privately briefed back in May that his name was all over the files, and it was after that briefing that his public tone began to wobble the way he climbed stairs. Then came September, and Sermon Vermin Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House and a smarmy little four-eyed fuck who tried to convince us that Trump's in the files because he was an FBI informant in the Epstein case. Days later, he retracted it. He misspoke. Tits on Christ. This whole cover-up has more open holes than Lindsey Graham after midnight. But get this, Mike Johnson, Mr. Transparency, mysteriously spent 7 weeks refusing to swear in Adelita Grijalva, the newly elected Democrat. He claimed the House was an informal legislative session. Funny, because he swore in 2 Republicans within 24 hours this year under the same conditions, but that was different. Their families had flown in. Y'all didn't know a Republican's travel itinerary was a constitutional crisis? The real reason swearing in Adelita would have given Democrats the 218th vote they needed to force the Epstein Files onto the floor. Inevitably, she was sworn in. The House took up the Epstein Files Transparency Act, and wouldn't you know it, President, consensually challenged, suddenly rediscovered his passion for transparency. Release the files! The vote passed and the Epstein Files were getting released. And then, with whiplash-inducing velocity, Tampa Two-Face immediately resurfaced like she was reading a ransom note to announce that a new investigation had just opened based on new information. An astonishingly convenient development, giving herself an excuse to stall what was just ordered to be released. If this is transparency, I'd hate to see what concealment looks like, but frankly, I think their panic over those files is the strongest evidence they've provided for anything.